everybody. This is Glory.
This is Gigi.
And this is Nick. And welcome to the EXPLORE podcast.
Woo! I'm happy.
Yay!
Today's episode's going to be really fun.
Yeah. So, go ahead, Glory. Tell us what we're doing today.
You're fine.
Tell everybody what this one's about.
Yeah. So, while we would normally, be on our next episode with our next ND or teaser, luckily enough, it is July 10th, 2023, and EXO has so graciously gifted us an entire full album, EXIST, their 7th album. Woo! And so we decided to have a special podcast where we just talk about the album itself and our feelings. Yay! Please note, we will not be talking about lore with either Hear Me Out, Let Me In, or Cream Soda.
Nope.
Right.
Those will obviously get their own podcasts. This is just us celebrating and talking about how we feel about the new music that we got from EXO today.
This is just review, discussion, etc. Observations.
Geeking out.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to start in order?
I think we should, yeah.
Well, let's start like this. Glory, what are your thoughts?
Overall on the album?
Yeah.
No skip.
No skip.
No skip. I think I was talking about this with someone else earlier today, but it feels like with each successive album that we've ever gotten from EXO, that they have continuously figured out how to grow. Mm-hmm. As musicians, as artists, as singers and rappers and dancers, but this feels on an entirely new level. And I think it goes back to a comment Baekhyun made, and I think it was during Kai's debut as a soloist, where he said, everyone is exploring what their individual color is. Mm-hmm. And when they find that individual color, it's going to make EXO's color that much more better. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact terms that he used, but I definitely know it was Baekhyun that originally mentioned it. And that is entirely true with this album.
Yeah.
And I am so excited about it.
I agree with that. It is... I honestly wasn't expecting to like it all that much, just given, the track descriptions and the titles and everything. And then the little lyric snippets that I saw from Cream Soda, I was like, oh, it's going to be cringy, poppy. But no, I was very, very wrong and very pleasantly surprised with how much I like this album.
Mood. I honestly thought I was going to hate it. I was like, every good group, I know I'm quoting myself, but every good group has a bad album. I literally told him this before the unboxing. Or while the guys were still unboxing before Cream Soda actually debuted in that weird 3-minute window that we were waiting.
Yeah.
And as soon as, had it not been 2 a.m, you would have had me on audio screaming and stuff. But as soon as it just immediately blew up, I was like, oh shit. I was so surprised. And Cream Soda was fucking insane. And the music video, granted I had been awake for so long at that point, but the music video was insane. Everything, all the surprises, I just kept looking at gasping and being like, oh my god. And I usually don't let myself be that excited about things like that, but they caught me completely off guard. And then when we listened to the album, I just kept getting this nostalgia and deja vu, and I kept telling him I'm listening to a Backstreet Boys album in 2023 at this point, except it's also in sync and R&B and at 112 and every group from the early 90s that I grew up listening to mashed in one.
Yeah,
in Korean, and it's so fun.
Very much a throwback album. In all the best ways.
And and I think it's a surprising album given the 2 pre-releases that we got.
Yeah.
Because the 2 pre-releases are so different that you really kind of didn't know which direction the full album was going to go. But now that I've heard the album completely, the 2 pre-releases fit so well in the album, where they're placed in the album, even, that it doesn't seem out of place or out of character, even though the songs, you know, one a ballad, a very EXO ballad, the other one a very retro, like happy kind of go lucky type feel, that it really threw us all off when you hear Cream Soda, and then you read the lyrics, and then you get all the rest of the songs, that it fits, even though they are two different types of songs, and Cream Soda and the rest of the album is also very different songs. They all fit together in this like beautiful way.
Yeah, I was telling Gigi earlier that like Let Me In on its own as a pre-release, I wasn't super into it. I was like, it's fine, but it's not really something that I'm going to put into a playlist or anything. But hearing it in the context of the album, and especially as the closer of the album, it makes so much more sense now, and it made me appreciate the song a lot more.
It's hype.
Yeah.
It's hype, and then it's like, okay, you go to sleep now.
Yeah.
We're done. I thought it was really interesting.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, and I mean, we all know that EXO normally ends their albums with a bit of a slower type song anyways, or ends with a ballad, so I was not surprised that Let Me In was the ending. I will say I was surprised that it was the only actual ballad on the entire album.
Yes.
Because we normally get at least one other
Yeah.
ballady song,
Yeah.
but it's still worked with everything else.
What?
I had a different feeling about Let Me In. I really liked Let Me In.
Yeah, I remember you liked
I
it.
first heard it.
It's
I
a
was
very
just like,
nice
eh.
song, but it doesn't like stand out that much as a single to me.
The issue is I've been listening to Obsession for the last 2 years, so Let Me In is not Obsession.
No.
And that's what I was comparing it to in my head, so Let Me In was just like...
It's not Don't Fight the Feeling either.
Okay, it's also not Don't Fight the Feeling.
I feel like it kind of calls back to some of their like mid-career stuff, like around Lotto era, and even sort of into Power of Music era. It had that kind of vibe to it.
Chill.
Yeah.
And I really liked it because the vocalization and harmonies that we got from Let Me In.
Oh yeah.
Just sort of show just how much each of them have grown individually and how much the group has grown, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. I might also be biased because of where I heard it, but even like listening to the studio album of it, their studio version of it, it's a very, very good song.
So for the people who don't know, where did you first hear the song, Glory?
So I got lucky enough to go to the fan meet in April in Seoul. And so that is where I first heard it. I went both days. So it was, for those that haven't seen the fan meet yet, it is the encore song. They finished the fan meet, then they have a VCR that everyone thought was a VCR at first. We now know that was like an actual MV teaser. And then they come back on stage and they sing Let Me In. It was absolute beauty, just seeing it.
So we're talking to a ghost right now, then.
Yeah.
Glorious ghost.
That should be, that should be a thing from, like, ever.
Yes.
No.
I want to know, I know you usually struggle to get a favorite song. So I'm not going to ask you what your favorite song is. What I'm going to ask you is which one surprised you the most?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Cinderella was
not
not what I was expecting.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up the actual, like, list here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So give me, like, 2 minutes while I pull up. Because while I remember it, I just want to, like, look at the track list again.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not... probably either Film Makeup or Private Party. I think those were the two that I was the most surprised about.
Ugh.
They're both extremely good.
Yeah.
And like Gigi said, I struggle very much with trying to choose a favorite. I struggle a lot. So yeah, Private Party and No Makeup, I think, are the two that I would say I was the most surprised out of the 6 new songs, or 7 new songs rather, that we got from the album.
What about you?
What about you?
Yeah, for me it was definitely Cinderella. Just like I hear Cinderella, I immediately think of their song Peter Pan,
Ugh.
which I don't like. It's corny, it's poppy, it's way too sweet for my tastes. So I was thinking of Cinderella as being like that sort of vibe, but then it started, and then that chorus came in, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" It's so good.
Which one was the one that you should play some of the snips, because I don't remember them off the top of my head. I've only listened through this twice, and I wasn't paying attention the second time.
Okay.
There's one song
Oh my god.
that Chanyeol starts, and I was like, remember both of us, well, we went out for a drive earlier today, and we're like, let's give ourselves a chance, we're gonna listen to the album together so that we both experience it. And like, we really genuinely regretted not filming it, because we were screaming in the car. We looked like a couple of banshees.
It's not.
I think that was
It's not
regret.
regret it,
I think that was
because-
regret it.
It's regret it.
which
Go ahead
he
and push
actually
play.
wrote. So
Let me see.
I'm on your side. I'm on
Yo.
your side. I'm on your side. Let's bring it, baby.
That song is sick.
It
by the
wasn't
way.
that one though.
It wasn't that one.
No, it was.
it was not that one.
No.
I think it's Private Party.
Hold on, I'm gonna play.
Hold on, I'm gonna listen to it.
I'm gonna play the beginning of Private Party.
No, because Private Party is. Oh, it is.
There's a
'Cause it
song
starts out
that
very slow. It starts out really slow and then
just flips the
it has like a Dio
gears.
type.
Yeah.
This one,
yo,
this
one. What the hell is this?
Yeah, that song.
It's a very, again, very surprised.
Yeah.
But like really, really, they just all work. They all work.
Yeah.
I
I think Another Day too. I'm not sure if it was that one or Love Fool, but one of them
Love
starts
Fool
off with
was nice.
like a piano riff, and I was like, don't know that I'm gonna like this. But then the actual song starts, and it's
I think that's the problem. You and I went into this going, I don't know if I'm going to like any of this.
Right.
But it's EXO, and I'm going to give them a shot because I trust them.
right,
And then
and they delivered.
every single time that we thought we weren't going to like something based on the beginning, they just slammed us
Yeah.
with, surprise, this is actually the energy of this. I thought that song was insane. Private Party was insane. It remains insane. We were screaming like, it was crazy. We were screaming so loud in the car,
Yeah.
and we just kept going, dude, what the fuck? It was hilarious. But the second half of the album, I told you this, and I was like, I feel like I'm having deja vu,
hmm
and I really do feel like I'm listening to something that I grew up listening to, and I liked the Backstreet Boys, and I liked 112, especially 112 was one of my favorites, and for a moment, I could imagine 112, Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys performing or singing these songs.
Yeah, like No Makeup especially. That is like such a classic 90s, early 2000s R&B track. It's
Perfect for
it's
us
so
that are
good.
like all in our 30s right now, because I'm like, I'm reliving the past.
30 Sexy era.
30 sexy. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just every single time I look at the track list, every single time I listen to it, so I probably have listened to this album on and off all day. So probably a good, I don't know, 15 times maybe. Look, it's really good. I love listening to EXO music when I'm working.
Yeah.
Keeps me like jamming out, but then I can like focus.
This album especially is really
and so
good for
just,
that.
like, yeah. And just like all of these songs have just been like insane quality. And they brought back so many awesome producers that EXO has worked with in the past.
Yeah.
In order to, the guy was really surprised, but very happy that they decided, yep, nope, we're bringing back all of these folks. We didn't get a Kenzie track on this album, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
But we got.
She's on there, but I didn't think so.
No. Kenzie is not on there. But we did get, Tay Jasper,
Yeah.
Aaron McKinney, Mars, and
Did we?
MCMC
I know we got Dim Joints.
came back.
Did we get
Dem
anything from
Joints,
London Noise?
Ellen.
Incoming.
Yes, we did. I believe they are no makeup.
Oh, yep.
I believe that's who did it.
Yes.
I'm
looking at Wikipedia
if I'm
right now.
looking, yeah. If I'm looking at the list currently, yeah. So so Cinderella and Private Party were both MZMC. And he actually talked about on his, one of the many streams that he had about it, that both of those songs, or at least one of them, was a title track contender, and both of them were kind of specifically written for EXO. I think a lot of the songs that we'll see here were kind of written specifically for EXO. Regret It definitely was. Hear Me Out was most definitely written for EXO. So it's really interesting just how many people they brought back in order to really make this album as good as it is.
And props to all of them, because they were so excited, and they have been really pushing all of the promo over the past few months, and they've been talking about them every single day, and oh, it's about time, and finally, and I'm like, damn, it's very cute to me to see that the people that they work with also love them as much as we do as fans, and that they are thrilled and they can't wait, and then they are more than happy to deliver the album that they've delivered with this. It's to me, it doesn't sound like any other EXO album. I'm trying to think back through time, and I don't know, I feel like the closest we would ever get is the first album, when they were still doing songs with a lot of funk and techno in it.
Yeah, but even that was a different flavor of the R&B and dance kind of leanings that this one has.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest in this comment. If you had put these songs in 2016 with an album right after Exact, we wouldn't be hearing this type of the way that the vocals were layered, and who was rapping and who was singing and whatnot. It would be entirely different, because it would be they would put them into what I consider the assigned roles, right? You give Chanyeol and Sehun just the rap, that's all they're gonna get. Kai gets a couple of lines here and there. Xiumin's gonna do some harmonization, and then you have your main vocalist plus Suho, they're gonna get more of the singing parts, right? That's what would happen if you put any of these songs back in 2016 to 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's in 2023 and all of these guys have grown up so much means that they can do so much with their voices and place them in different locations. We get rapper Xiumin, we get high note
rapper Xiumin,
Kai, we get singing Sehun, we get singing Chanyeol,
we get Suho doing ad libs and runs.
Suho doing ad libs just drove me insane.
Yeah.
We get so much, and no hate to the main vocals, because we get Baekhyun going off. We get Chen doing, some of the highest notes that I've ever heard him sing. We get Dio growling more than I've ever heard him slide into his R&B side than ever before. And it works so well that we get this sort of new EXO music and an almost new look to EXO, but still have the same feel of that EXO is R&B, and that all of the members have their distinct voices that kind of go along with things.
I was surprised to hear, not surprised in the sense of, because I prayed for this when Don't Fight the Feeling came out, especially after Obsession, and they started utilizing Sehun as a vocalist. the amount of Sehun as a vocalist and the amount of lines he has,
Yes.
the distribution, it's like makes up for everything that they ever did to him prior.
He is all over this album, and I love it.
love this. This is definitely a rap line album, with the exception of Kai, unfortunately. But like, this is a rap line album, and to hear so much Min-seok towards the latter half of the album, I was clapping like a damn penguin in the car, like nonstop. I was like, yes, Min-seok, there's Min-seok again. I was so happy.
Yeah. And Kai getting a lot of vocal time too is really nice, because I feel like a lot of the time they use him as just sort of like an accent or to kind of back up rap line, but he was like front and center vocal line on a lot of these tracks, which is amazing to see, because his voice works so well with that style of music.
This
Because,
is
I
a
mean,
Kai
it's-
album.
Yeah.
This
It's
is like the music that
Kai.
he gets hyped to.
And it's Min-seok too. Like, if you look at their
Yeah.
solo careers and their solo music, this is very much in line with what both of them like to do. And so hearing them in the context of the full group all doing this together is just it's so good.
What was it, Loveful? Loveful is the one that Min-seok is like on like 85% leading.
Yeah.
Okay. That one for sure. It took me a minute because of all the adrenaline, and then all of a sudden I went, wait, this is the perfect song just for Min-seok to sing by himself. I would have expected, if you had put it on his solo album, I would not have been like, oh yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
it fits.
Like brand new and feedback energy all over this album.
So why don't we go through each of the songs? And what I want to do,
Okay.
because I really kind of enjoyed it when they did it with tempo, is at the end of each like song that we talk about, we choose which member we think the song goes with the best.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
that's true. There
So
are
that
9
way we
tracks. So
assign. There are 9 tracks.
Yeah.
So we assign a member to each track, just like they did with "Don't Fight the" or with tempo.
yeah.
How each song kind of represented one member. And why don't we leave the... Do you want to do title track first or title track last?
Ooh, interesting.
I wanted to say something real quick. So,
Okay.
I accidentally left the album playing on loop. I wasn't trying to, because I wanted to finish the album so I can go back to my regular EXO playlist that I had all the songs in. And I accidentally left the Exist album on. I get through Let Me In. I get through the whole thing. And then Cream Soda starts again, and it works so well after Let Me In.
Really?
It works like I was surprised at how well it works as an outro. And I was sitting there like, damn, this song is nice. And then I went, oh my god, the album started over again.
Right. I actually really
And
like
now
when
I'm wondering
albums
about
do
the
that.
placement, because you and I had mentioned that the placement and like the pacing of it works so good.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, what if it did just like smack you one more time before the album ended, right after Let Me In, and a really chill song, and then bam, Cream Soda hits again.
Yeah.
We should do it like that.
We can do that.
I think if you hear it the way that I heard it, you might actually, you'll definitely understand what I mean.
Yeah. I think that's like a byproduct of the CD era, is because, you know, when you have a CD player in your car or whatever, it just loops the same disc over and over unless you change it. So I think for a long time, albums would kind of end with a song that sort of blends into the first song on the album to make that more of like a smooth transition. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to that, because I don't think I was with you when that happened.
No,
so.
you weren't in the room, and
Yeah.
I've been working on something for days, so I was like, let me just keep my playlist in the background on playing. And then it hit, and I didn't even question it. It felt so natural, and it felt so exciting, and I was like, yeah. And then I went, I gotta show you guys this later when we're chatting about it, because it's really fun.
We have a guest.
We have a guest.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello, Emmy.
Hi, Emmy.
One of our friends and that are part of our family here at the podcast has joined us. We'll definitely ping her in if she has time to chat along.
So why don't we go ahead and start by listening to the title track, Cream Soda.
All right, here we go.
톡 쏘는 듯한 느낌 꽤나 부드러운 크림 섞일수록 더욱 진해져 baby 또 목이 타는 기분 살짝 위태로운 지금 다른 걸론 절대 만족 못해 Baby come closer 입안 가득 퍼져 처음 맛본 특별한 끌림 이 자극적인 텐션 like a bottle of cola 넌 탄산처럼 팍 퍼져 이미 성이 다 마비된 듯 사랑 앞에서 baby 자꾸만 비트 까다로운 척 이리저리 재봐도 원래 몸에 해로운 게 끌리는 거 알지 주체 못할 appetite 내 모든 걸 뒤흔든 그만 I need all your cream soda 녹아들수록 좀 더 달콤해져 내 맘을 아주 쏙 담아 I need all your cream soda 톡 쏘는 듯한 느낌 꽤나 부드러운 크림 섞일수록 더욱 진해져 babe Baby go dumb dumb 머릿속을 shake it 딱한 입에 난 이미 freezing Give me that yum yum 맞질 않는 taste it 날 사로잡은 달콤한 flavor 달콤해 이건 마치 bonbon dessert 한 모금들이 마신 순간 dumb dumb before 날 자제하려 시도했지만 조절이 안 돼 마보다 본능이 so fast 이대로 멈출 수 없어 you know I gone get it 주지 못할 appetite 내 모든 걸 뒤흔들면 I need all your cream soda 녹아들수록 좀 더 달콤해져 내 맘을 아주 쏙 담아 I need all your cream soda 넘쳐나는 거품 fill it up 부드럽게 채워 get it up 벗어나기 원치 않아 drink it all 번져가는 love so sweet 머리가 깨질 듯이 시린 너의 투명한 바닥 끝까지 자꾸 욕심나 좀 더 맘을 녹여줘 살짝만 볼 중독적인 appetite 내 심장에 맴도는 말 I need all your cream soda 할수록 좀 더 달콤해져 그 끝을 알고 싶어만 I need all your cream soda 쏘는 듯한 느낌 꽤나 부드러운 크림 섞일수록 더욱 진해져 babe 또 목이 타는 기분 살짝 위태로운 지금 다른 걸론 절대 만족 못해
Woo!
I do like that too.
The logo.
Yes.
The logos on this album.
Ooh.
So good. So yeah, that's the title track.
Every
And,
single track on this album has like some kind of fake out, and
Right.
I love it. I loved this. I love the video, and I love the song. The song is so exciting. It really fakes you out. You don't
Yeah.
know what it's coming,
Yeah.
and then it just hits you. There's no warming up. It's just bam.
And full disclosure, I did
Yeah.
not like the chorus when I first heard it, but it was also like 2 a.m. and I was tired, and I think I just wasn't in the mood for something that was that energetic. But it's definitely grown on me, and I'm a fan.
Glory.
I am very much. I'm very much a fan. It's up there in terms of title tracks, easily top 5. Still got to figure out like whether it hits top 3 or not. I really. gonna be very interesting for me to say this, even though this song is extremely high in the falsettos, like
Mhm.
a lot of falsetto throughout this entire song. To me, this song, 7. Like, it is, I think it showcased so much of his vocal rap ability
Yes.
that he is an absolute standout in this song.
Yeah, the way that he rides the beat in his verses is just so satisfying. It really shows like how good of a rapper he actually is. And then his vocals come in and
Absolutely.
you're like, oh shit, he can sing too.
Mm.
And he's always been able to, but they haven't really utilized that as much as they should. But now, especially that he's gone through the training and the voice coach, he sounds more mature, more confident, and it's so nice to see him being like front and center, singing and rapping and dancing.
You don't really see Sehun own the entirety of the song and like every movement of the song. There's usually other members that like will come in and other in the past and they'll like move it from one phase, like part A to part B but no, like it's his and he directs the show right now.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
think
good way
that's
to
really
put it.
cool.
Mhm.
It also like helps when he comes in, it grounds those falsettos that have like kind of put me off guard. Like that's where I was completely off guard. I was like, I don't know. And then as soon as Sehun came in, I was like, yeah, I didn't know what was coming. Like I needed to give this a shot. And he stands out so nicely. And it's not just, the brass or anything and the audio that you're listening to. It's also he fits so well with the lyrics and the
Yes.
lyric subject. Like he is
Yeah.
so confident. And you need like that confidence in the lyrics for the lyrics to execute properly, and he delivers it so well.
I think one of the things that I found interesting throughout the entire album, that Cream Soda as the first song kind of gets you in that mood, is a lot of these songs or all of these songs are either about seduction or about wanting to be with the person that you're with. And Sehun is a loyal person. We both, even the members themselves have talked about how loyal Sehun is to the rest of the members and to his like family and close friends. That so well with him. Just like this entire sort of idea of seduction or being with someone and like caring for them and loving them. So I thought that was really cool as well.
There's
Yeah.
actually and you can correct me, Glory, because you probably know more than I do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there an interview where he and Chanyeol are chatting about how they behave when they're into somebody? And Chanyeol is like, "Oh, I go for it. You don't go for it?" And Sehun's like, "No, I wait for the person to come to me."
Yes.
And I like, he's just so bold. I think that's the best way to describe him on this album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think we all agree that maybe Cream Soda is Sehun, and we're just gonna
Yeah. For sure.
leave that song for him.
Yep.
I think yes for now.
Yeah.
Well, let me listen through the other stuff because as we go through, we're going to listen to the other songs. But it really is such his song. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be front and center in the music video, and he has so much screen time on the video. But
Yeah.
I love it. I love that the main vocalist kind of took a step back on that one.
Mm-hmm.
They're here to be the backups, which is so cool because we don't really get songs like that anymore, or we don't really get songs like that from EXO at least, where the main vocals are the backups and the people who are usually the backup are actually leading.
Yeah. And the falsetto
And-
too is something that we haven't really gotten a lot of from EXO, even though it's relatively common in the rest of the K-pop industry. For boy groups, it's not really something that EXO has done a whole lot of, especially on their title tracks. But it's nice to see it kind of like being showcased, even if it like caught me off guard at first.
Yeah, there are so many falsettos.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire chorus is basically a falsetto.
Yeah.
Half of the bridge is climbing to a falsetto, but it's all beautiful. So I don't know what else to say except that it was everything I wanted and more.
Except it's so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna chat though, real quick, about? I have to.
Go.
We haven't talked about it enough. Everyone is talking about how Min-seok had to, and it makes sense. He is one of the other main dancers in the group, and he's a fantastic dancer. Unfortunately, we don't have Nini in it right now, but
Kai would eat this.
I love Min-seok. He was my first bias in EXO, and I respect the man. But Chanyeol and Sehun, their dance scene together.
Oh, during the rap verse.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah,
Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of that was so Sehun kind of does like almost like a half body roll, but it doesn't like fully complete. He kind of pushes his back a little bit, kind of leans back. Chanyeol kind of almost punches the chest, and Sehun kind of pops it a little bit. Perfect. And it hit right at the correct beat.
Yeah.
It was absolute beauty.
Can we watch this? What minute is it at?
I can find it. Hold on.
It would be. Well, that kind of starts at around 1:31 is when Chanyeol starts his rap on the second verse.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a few seconds before it.
Oh yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Ugh.
And the way
Yeah,
that all of the
that
members are like interplaying with each other throughout the choreo is really interesting.
It's so attractive.
And probably something to think about for the lore when we get to that episode, but that's not this. Right
It
now.
is still so attractive, and I really, if I were to compare this to a video in which these guys like really showed off how confident they felt, it would probably be "Call Me Baby," which
Ooh,
when
yeah.
you said punching, it reminded me of where Beck rips his heart out and gives it to Kai in their choreo. And they were like cocky and confident and like, yeah, come on, call me, I got you. But this level of confidence that they're just, each one of them is just overflowing with it is so yummy. And then to have the two rappers who they usually don't get that much time on any of the songs, just be the bosses of this song is so sexy.
Yes.
And
For
then
sure.
they're not just rappers. They also dance. And
Yeah.
people have made fun of Chanyeol's dancing for so long. But the man can dance.
Yeah.
Speaking of someone that can dance, Dio,
Ooh,
Yes.
absolutely.
When he comes
just-
in. at the
Baekhyun
beginning.
said it. Yeah, Baekhyun said it best. That Dio went crazy
Yes.
in the choreo, and you can tell why. And I find it funny that it is Dio, actually, that when a member is not around, that Dio somehow gets possessed by the member that isn't around and then just carries it.
He is the
Right? If we look
grounding
back
force.
at, like, yeah. But like, if we look back at, like, Ladder, season 3, for example,
Mhm.
with no Beagle line,
Yeah.
Hyun-suk, like, comes out of his shell and kind of becomes, the Beagle
Yeah.
for Ladder S3. In this song, because we don't have Kai in choreo, Kenzo, I don't know what possessed him, but the man's dancing was on another
Phenomenal.
level. And I
Yes.
haven't seen them in that level before.
I think that my theory with that has always been that the guys have always mentioned how this is the Dio that they see. This is the Kyungsoo that they know, and that he hasn't been sharing with the public, and he's taken a really long time to actually, you know, pop up and like show who he really is. And I find it absolutely fascinating, and I'm so grateful. Enlistment is really, really hard on the fandom for sure. We don't see how hard it is on the idol, but we see it on the fandom's end. And then to just see them come back like really confident men and stuff with the glow up. And ever since he came back, he may not be doing too much because he moves in silence, but whenever we have group content, he's always like, he's perky now, and he like teases the other guys. And like, for him to say that Chanyeol makes the same face in every single thing that he does during the unboxing is just, ooh. So I'm really excited we get to see this side of Kyungsoo, and that he is owning and very confident of his masculinity, and that he doesn't care that he's showing off that he likes being sexy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So are we ready?
Why don't we go ahead and check out? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go check out the next song,
Regret it.
which is "Regret It,"
Yeah.
written by Lowy. Our wonderful Chanyeol participated in the lyrics to the song.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. Let's bring it, baby. 모든 건 너로 시작됐어. 모든 걸 걸어 준비됐어. Dive in. Tell me, 너를 볼 때면 달리는 맘이 나를 어디로 데리고 갈지. 어디든 있어줄래 영원히. 내 모든 하루는 너에게 뛰어들어. 벗어나고 싶지 않아 no way out. 단 한 번의 강렬함에 take down. So baby let me know. 지금 너의 맘 나의 모든 건 널 원해. So don't make me regret it. 끝없길 바래 made it. 널 향한 나의 맘이 길을 잃지 않게 해줘. Don't make me regret it. 모든 건 너로 시작했어. 모든 걸 Don't make me regret it. 묻을 수 없다면 just go on. 후회 없이 내게 말해봐. 후회 없이 내게 말해봐. Amazing. 두 번 할 수는 없을 이 떨림. 깊은 꿈에서 깨어나듯이 눈부신 너를 마주한 느낌. 불안한 눈빛도 잠들어 네 곁에선 끝도 없는 어둠 찰나의 flashlight 잊어버리게 해라는 생각. So let you know 지금 나의 맘 꾸밈없이 날 비춰. So don't make me regret it. 끝없길 바래 made it. 널 향한 나의 맘이 길을 잃지 않게 해줘. Don't make me regret it. 모든 건 너로 시작했어. 모든 걸 Don't make me regret it. 멈출 수 없다면 just go. 후회 없이 내게 말해봐. Look, 네가 날 떠난다면 나는 길을 잃을 거야. You're on my side in the sky. 어쩌면 조금 뻔한 진부한 말들만 내뱉지만 내 맘이 시키는 대로 말하는 것뿐이야. 거짓말처럼 너만 다른 색 물감을 쓴 듯 흑백 같은 세상 속이 너로 물들어가. And it feels good. 이번엔 뭔가 다른 것 같아. So don't make me regret it. 시작됐어. 모든 걸 걸어 준비됐어. Dive in. 후회 없이 내게 말해봐.
It's too short.
Yeah. Needs to be at least another verse.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a good length. I don't think it's too short. Another verse would have been wonderful, but I don't think it's too short.
Yeah, I think one more would have fit. And I'd like to see, I wonder, because obviously they haven't mentioned whether or not there's EXoPlanet 6 coming before Kai returns, but I wonder, like, it makes me feel like the clothes that they wore, that everybody's joking that they look like they're advertising soda and candy.
Yeah.
Those would have been the perfect outfits for them to perform this song in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. I can see that.
That's the vibe for sure.
Thoughts?
So who stood out to you? What's your
I love
who's the member?
the production on this track and the way that the vocals are mixed, because like during the first verse especially, you have those really super high harmonies going on in the background, but they're not like, they're very subtle. They're almost as if they're a part of the texture of the music, not of the vocals. And I think that it's because, like, honestly, the first time I listened to it, I didn't even notice those. And so listening now with headphones on, it's like, oh, that's actually really cool. It's more of a melodic choice than a lyrics choice to have them harmonizing like that. And then in the rap part, Sehun's voice is actually mixed a little higher than everyone else's, which I find interesting. And that's true of most of the album. So I'm wondering, like, if that's just a coincidence, but I don't think that it is. I'm not really sure, but
I mean, I think it's that he's like the main vocal on that line, and then you have the harmony, you know, above it, and or probably above and above, or there might even be someone close in. Because normally when they do harmonies, it's either 2 or 3, but they will always have someone kind of the main fronter, and then they'll have like, you know, the harmony kind of surrounding it.
yeah. But I mean, like, even when Sehun is rapping, his voice is louder than in the verses when Baekhyun or Chen or Dio are singing.
Yeah, it could be that they put his voice higher. It could be that he was closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
And they were, you know, able to pick it up a lot more.
Right. It's just an interesting choice to leave it in there like that. And it's like that on the whole album, so I don't think it's unintentional that they did that. Which is good. I love hearing more Sehun.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then those runs in the chorus are just, beautiful.
Jongdae went off.
He went off.
I do like Nini though.
Yeah.
I feel that Nini, even though Jongdae goes off, I feel that Jongin's part works better for this song. Jongdae was loud, whereas the piece that Jongin put in was very strong in the track. That's just me, and I'm a Sundigi, so like I feel like I loved Jongin's part a lot more, and I've always liked the nostalgic tone to his voice anyway, and I think it fits so well in a song that is very old school.
I can see how you would say that. Like, I personally like Jungbae's voice a lot more on this track than I do Kai's, and I love Kai's lower register in this. But there's just something about both Jungbae and Baekhyun, but more often than not, Chen's sort of higher tone in his bass line being a higher tone on this song makes it from like a 7.5 to like a 9.5. Like it does so much to the song, because the song could have been a lot of very lower register voices, a lot more rap focused, and then you have Chen come in with his beautiful clear voice, and I think it does so much to this song. Like it's probably my favorite vocal flex for Jungdae on this entire album outside of Let Me In.
What member do you think this song is best for?
I think it would be easy to say Chanyeol since he took part in writing it. But honestly, I would go with Chen for this one. I think I agree with what Gloria just said, where his voice and his performance really like make the song what it is for me. So I'm gonna put him with this one.
I will also put Regret It for Chen. Just and like I can just envision him having so much fun on stage with it.
Yeah.
Like more than the other members. That he would just really sort of enjoy it. So I would also go with Chen.
What about you?
I get where you guys are coming from. That's all I'm gonna say. I think
don't have to agree.
the reason for that is I really liked him more on Cinderella, and so that's one of those things where I said, if I'm gonna go through all these, my choices might change.
Oh, that's true
based
too.
on as I listen through. But I really liked him more on Cinderella, and I prefer Jongin on Regret It.
All right.
Just because
Yeah.
if I'm replaying it loosely off the top of my head, his voice is my favorite voice on this song so far.
I get that.
All right, why don't we do the third song, which was actually the second pre-release
Yes. Hear Me Out.
for EXIT. Yep, it's Hear Me Out.
All right. Let's go.
1, 2, 3. Look babe, 더 마음에 들어 너의 마음에 들려 날 get it, let's fly together. 나는 이를 잊지 baby, I can't help it. 날 밀어내려 네 시도는 just save it. Cause I've been thinking about some time with you. 넌 아직도 이 모든 게 시작일 뿐. 바라는 것은 전혀 없어 my baby. 같이 밤새 같은 곳을 보는 게 내 favorite curtains. 어렵게 생각하지마 시간만 아까워. Love, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 괜찮아 뭐 어때? Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 망설일 필요 없는데. Oh babe, hold me close. Hold me close, hold me close. 진정한 그만큼 서투른 이 잠시 난 밀고 당기는 건 아니야. 절대로 내게는 안 보여준 모습을 하고 떠날 준비해 본 주. 왜 또 이런 대우를 받으며 배우는 너에게 도달하는 법도 분명해. I can see you here frustrated. 쉽게 말해서 I need you baby. 알잖아 재미없는 말을 굳이 꺼낼 걸. 난 행동으로 and you'll be mine for the night. Yeah. 한 걸음 멀어지는 너 애써 피하려 하지는 마. My love 딱 한 가지만 확실히 해줄래. 얘기해줘. 내게 좀 더 혼자 숨길 생각 말고. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 괜찮아 뭐 어때? Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 망설일 필요 없는데. Oh babe, hold me close. Hold me close. 신중한 그만큼 서투른 당신 날 밀고 당기는 건 아니야. 줄인 너의 맘 그 속에 숨긴 너의 진심 솔직하게 말해봐. 솔직해져봐. 내가 먼저 열어둘 테니 다 꺼내봐. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 괜찮아 뭐 어때? Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. 망설일 필요 없는데. Oh babe, hold me closely. 오직거리만 이 손
Oh, I love that neon thingy.
Yes.
Ugh, the logos. The logos.
So good.
This song is such a vibe.
Yes.
It's such a vibe.
This song actually makes me curious if I were to have some weed. I want to experiment how I would feel listening to it.
Mood.
Just be so chilled out. Like, it is so chill. I really like it.
Yeah, it's definitely got like the 70s funk vibe to it. And I know somebody in our Instagram chat, I think, mentioned a comparison to Anderson .Paak, which I definitely agree with. And also to Silk Sonic, which is Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars, the band that they did. And it just has that vibe. And it's so relaxing. It's so like... I have a playlist of songs that make me feel like I'm floating on top of them. And that they're just like enveloping me. And this song is definitely in that playlist. It's so comfy.
That's a nice way of thinking about it. Float tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a member that stood out to you on the song when you were listening to it?
Oof.
Not the member that we feel that fits the song best, but rather like you were like, whoa.
Two of them. First off, singing Chenyol. Let's be honest. Singing
Yes.
Chenyol.
Yes.
Oh,
Beautiful.
absolutely wonderful. On this. And then the high note between Jungdae and Kai at the end of the bridge leading into the last chorus.
Mm.
I'm specifically thinking of Kai kind of coming in towards the middle point of that Chen verse on the bridge, and then just kind of building up to that dual high note. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's gonna be my answer too. I think because like Chanyeol, we've heard sing before. We've heard him doing the like rap singing before that he does on this track, though not to the same extent. But yeah, Kai's vocals on this track, and especially the interplay that he does have with Jungdae, is just it's such a textural like feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Kai's vocals on this were definitely like, wow, that's so good. What about you?
The order in which these were dropped, this was the second song, right? This
Yeah.
is the one that everybody was just like, whoa, because we
Uh-huh.
really didn't think that this was going to come in, especially after a song like Let Me In. I remember listening to it and I was like, thank God, because I didn't really like Let Me In. And I felt like, yes, okay, so there's a song I can actually vibe with. It was, while it's really beautiful, the Jong Bros going at it, because they sing beautifully together. I would actually really hope that they get to collab in the future. Junmyeon rapping the song at the end up was such a surprise to me. Junmyeon doesn't usually do ad-libs on stuff. And so not only is he doing a lot more and performing a lot more on this song, he's also ending the song. Like that whole section towards the end is his. And I loved it. I was ecstatic when I saw that he got a whole section just to himself to finish.
Yeah.
Because line distribution wise, Junmyeon doesn't get that much.
Right.
And so I thought it was fascinating to have our leader show off on this one.
Yeah, I agree. And I also want to say, like, he looks very, very happy in the music video. He looks like he's just having a blast hanging out with his members. And I love that for him.
Yeah. I do want to address something that kind of popped up when the song came out, and that was the alleged lack of Dio in this song.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's a lot of people on Twitter that, were kind of angry. Like, where the heck is Dio? Like, why is he in there? Like, no, he's in there.
Yeah.
he got, you know, the final chorus, but more importantly, he's doing so many harmonizations with a lot of the other members that, like, he's obviously there in such a beautiful capacity that, like, people just need to calm down. 75% of EXO's music in the past has Kyunso, or Dio, sorry, on as a main vocal front and center. That it is okay for one song that he has harmonization mainly.
Yeah.
And I find that beautiful.
Yeah, like, I'm not really one to complain about line distribution that much, but I don't think that you can complain about that with EXO in general. Like, maybe with Schumann, because he really doesn't get that many. But except on this album, he does have a lot on this album. So again, like, all the members are there, and they're all playing an important role in every song. You just sometimes have to listen a little bit harder to hear some of them.
Absolutely.
I think it's fine. I actually, now that you bring that up, I think that it's very fun that we didn't realize that Hear Me Out was going to establish the framing of all the songs, really, on this album. He's really present on Let Me In. So you're like, oh yeah, you know, typical EXO song. You expect that it's going to be Kyungsoo singing a lot of it. But the rest of the album, he's not, you know, a major piece. So I thought that it was really cool that Hear Me Out is kind of like our cushion, like opening the door to the rest of the songs on the album. I don't feel that there are any holes vocally with EXO to where it's a problem that he takes a step back.
Yeah, I don't see it as a problem either.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So
Which member, guys?
who are we? Mine is Chanyeol. Because I think, like, listening to his solo stuff and to EXO-SC and everything that he's, like, written and produced, it's like this vibe is right up his alley for sure. And apart from him having gorgeous vocals on the track, it's just the vibe fits him very well.
Honestly, yeah. Chanyeol, what is he called? Happy Virus. And he's so energetic and stuff, but he's also chill for me.
Yeah, it was Chanyeol from the moment that I heard this, which is, like, weird because, again, he wrote Regret It, but there is just something about his singing voice on this particular track that just, it makes so much sense. And the fact that he thought about this song as an, you know, EXO-SC song too, and it is the most EXO-SC type song on the EXO album.
Yeah.
Just makes it even more so that this sort of belongs to Chanyeol.
Bringing that up, during the unboxing, when he said that, I was like, that is such a producer mind thing to do. And I was really excited to see him flex that. You know, the others haven't really been able to participate so much with the subunits, right? And talk a lot about the subunits. And so he's showing off that he's got the pedigree. And when the moment he was like, I actually wanted this song for SC, I was like, yes, like that would also work so well. And for a moment, he gave Sehun this look, and then he kind of gave the others a look, and I don't know if I was looking into it too much, but it kind of like felt like he held himself back from saying, it's the song that I would have wanted on our next album with SC that we're working on right now. And I know that I might be delusional. I mean, I'm in XOL, so yes, I'm delusional. But for a moment, I was like, did he just almost spoil a comeback? I don't know if you looked at it that way.
Okay, so because I am just as delusional, I have been saying that I hope to have in SC come back before Sehun enlists. I don't actually know that we'll get it. But I could have seen a situation where they did a single or like a digital single type thing before Sehun enlists, and like this song could have worked for that.
I would die. I need them back.
That'd be nice.
I need them back so much. They're my favorite subunit of EXO as it is anyway. So I don't love.
This is working now.
Oh
Yes. Hi, Becca.
hello.
Hi, sorry. I can't work technology for the life of me.
No, you're okay.
Discord is no exception. So I know I'm like running a little behind, but I thought for let me in. That's where we're at, right? My brain is very not functioning. But I thought it was actually really, like you guys were saying earlier, I feel like I'm going to repeat what you guys basically said, but like hearing Suho take the last chorus was actually really surprising to me. I didn't really expect that from him, and expect that because I'm not necessarily used to hearing that, so I thought it was really interesting. Jong Bros, always here for them.
For Hear Me Out.
And I actually did that to, excuse me, Roxanne. My dog just opened my door. Roxy, if you're gonna come and ruin my call, you could at least say hello. She's wagging her tail at you all.
Does she like EXO?
She does.
All right.
I don't know who her bias is.
Oh.
But Anna's bias, my cat, is Chenyol, because I asked her all the EXO members' names today and asked her how she felt about them, and she gave me the most intense response to Chenyol. So.
Well, there you go. Good taste.
Anyway, you guys can continue on. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get it to work, so I'm like delayed with my thoughts. So.
Oh no,
You're fine. I didn't
that
have
was
the
for Hear Me
permissions,
Out.
so
Jung
that-
Bros is for Hear Me Out, and Suho
Perfect.
not Let Me In. We haven't touched Let Me In yet.
Yeah.
I've been up since early today, so I'm very.
You're good.
Are you done, Bill? Okay.
All right, now that we've gotten Hear Me Out of the way, why don't we get to the next song on the album, Private Party.
All right. Let's go.
너의 시선 끝에는 hard explore 걷잡을 수 없는 선을 넘은 꼴 이성은 nice 전부 cool 위험한 본능만 남은 상태로 한껏 부쩍이는 팔이 깊어진 사이 슬쩍 빨다르는 마음이 끄는 발이 미끄러진 듯이 내게로 falling 자꾸 마주치는 눈빛 우연이 아닌 우리 둘 어둠이 깔린 분위기 속 가만히 우릴 내버려둬 perfect timing 가까이 더 숨소리 하나까지 올라봐 더는 뮤직 같은 춤을 춰 솔직하면 할수록 좋아 말을 안 해도 우린 놓았어 급할 이유 따윈 이대로겠어 Just dance with me 천천히 lips on me 본색을 드러내 깊어진 숨결 What can I say 가시겐 버려도 Baby you know what to do Dancing my shawty Dancing my shawty babe Let's get it started 우리만의 private party Dancing my shawty Dancing my shawty babe Dancing my body 우리만의 private party 우리만의 private party Let me get to romance in you 이 공간에 살 수 없는 사람 중 우린 서로를 알아봐 운명인 듯그 다음 일은 계속 당겨지는 둘 반짝이는 조명 아래 넌 great 솔직하게 느껴지는 감정을 play 텐션을 깰 생각은 막 계속해서 더 배가 될 수 있게 시간을 멈춰 just chance me 햇살이 밤에 떠올릴 여기에 지금 이대로 I can't say 긴장은 풀어도 Baby you know what to do My shawty My shawty Let's get it started 우리만의 private party My shawty My shawty My shawty My body 우리만의 private party 우리만의 private party Party party
Oh, that was bop. Bop and a half.
Yes. Maybe even 2 bops.
So good. I have listened to the song a few times now, and I can't pick up Jongin on it.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, I think
He's in his lower register in the song
Uh-huh.
a lot more. Like he's like right before the first chorus. He is, I think, leading the second chorus, but I could be wrong on that. But he's definitely in the song just on his lower sort of register instead of like a more like falsetto or the standard sort of honey vocals that we normally hear from him.
Okay. Or when I heard it earlier today and through the few different times that I've listened to it, I'm like, where is he? I think it might just also be the background track that if he's in his register, in that register, of course, it makes more sense that he's not standing out to me like I'm usually used to hearing him.
Yeah.
Curious observation. I personally, for a song that's very R&B, very hype, which my idea of Chanyeol is a very hype person, like I said when we were discussing Hear Me Out. I'm surprised. Maybe I'm insane and I'm just listening too closely to the actual music. Is he on this that often? Or does he have a larger presence on the other songs?
I don't think he's on this one as much as he is on some of the other songs, but yeah, he's definitely there.
Okay.
Yeah. Also
I was spoiled, and then I was spoiled for the first 3 tracks, and then all of a sudden it switches up. So like, okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Nick?
I love it. I love the production on it. I love where it gets kind of like weird and glitchy in the second half of the song to kind of like shake up the expectations and everything. And speaking of expectations, the way that it starts, where it's just kind of like pad synths and vocal harmonies, and then the beat comes in and kicks you in the face. I love it.
You're a producer. This must be like a wonderful album for you to rip apart, right?
It is, yeah. I don't typically work with a lot of like R&B type stuff, but the way that it's produced is very intriguing to me.
Nice. Glory, thoughts?
Oh god. So this is kind of the opposite of Regret It in terms of the beginning, right? Because in the beginning of Regret It, it's like super like hard hitting, and then it
softens
gets
out
into this
in
R&B.
the verses. Yeah,
it softens out. Yeah, Private Party like completely reverses that and is like more of like a softer tone to get into the heavy hitting,
right.
which I think works really well because of where it is on the album.
Yeah,
like you can't have that super hard hitting
right after
like
Hear Me Out.
Right off the bat, right after Hear Me Out.
Yeah. Whereas it works with Regret It because Cream Soda is so high energy already that it just kind of keeps that going before mellowing it out so that it can then transition into Hear Me Out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is like a production type thing that not many people will think about, because when you're listening to an album, most people are like, oh, this song or that song, and then they will go back and they will only play those songs.
Right.
But if you listen to the album start to finish, you want that sort of transition, that sort of easy blend. The best way that I can describe it is Kai's second mini album, Peaches.
Oh, that album
does this, right?
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, that album is great, but like it does that in the opposite, where you get like Peaches and then you get Vanilla, and then you have no warning for Domino to hit.
Right.
And I know a lot of people like complained because there was no like nice transition between Vanilla and Domino. It was like 2 very different vibes, 2 very different type songs.
Yeah.
And so that threw people off.
Yeah.
It was fine for me because
it's enjoying,
right? I love that entire album. Yeah. But EXO does that very well, where they will have songs in the correct order so that it flows very well from one to the next, and you're not caught so off guard with music then it kind of ruins the experience for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree in the sense that it's super cohesive in that sense, and most of EXO's discography is really like that. Even if something may not seem like it go together right after each other, it does, and it makes sense. I haven't looked into the lyrics, but a lot of times lyrics can be connected, or at least that's what Taylor Swift does when she like picks the order of the track list. So that could be something interesting to check out for lore. I also thought that it was really funny to have the mattress sound come back. I feel like it
Yes.
haunts me.
That was good.
Well,
The baby girl sent me. I heard that and I freaked out this morning. I was unparalleled, insane. But yeah, I think it's really interesting how the songs go from seeming like they'd be in one direction to going the opposite. And I love that dynamic and that push and pull. And I think that's one of the reasons why EXO's music is so unique, and one of the reasons why I think this is going to be like, I mean, obviously all of their albums are great, but I think this could be one of their best albums in terms of that.
Yeah, because like you said, EXO, most of their discography is really good at, you know, the track sequencing and like keeping everything cohesive, and that you're not getting like blindsided with any random sounds or whatever. But the thing that keeps Tempo and Love Shot, I guess, from being my favorite album is the one track on there, With You, I think it's called, that just totally completely destroys the flow of the album, and it's so out of place. And like, I don't like the song that much anyway, but if it flowed better within the album, I would like it more. But it just, I think it comes after, I don't know what the track listing is, I think it comes after like Gravity or something, or maybe Damage, but it's one of like the more intense songs on the album, and then it just goes into this like really soft ballad-esque song, and it's like, well, why would you do that?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go from Tempo to Sign to Ooh La La. Or no, Ooh La La La. My bad. Whew.
Forgot a
And
lot.
then Gravity. And you're like pumped up from Gravity, and then bam, With You.
Yeah.
I think maybe on that album it would have worked a little better after 24/7.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is the next song immediately after that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like the era of streaming has kind of made track sequencing a thing of the past, because most people just listen on shuffle, or like Gloria said, pick a couple of songs from each album and throw them into a playlist or something. But it is something that's very important to people who do still
Yeah, I
like to
would
listen
agree.
to full albums.
Yeah, every time I hear an album for the first time, no matter what the artist is, I always listen to it in the correct track order,
Yeah.
because usually artists will make references or something like that.
Mhm.
Niall Horan is another artist who does a really good job of that throughout his music, and especially his latest. Heartbreak Weather was much better. It literally told a cohesive story of a relationship from the start to finish, and I thought that was really cool. And I mean, I do listen to stuff on shuffle once I've given it a first listen,
Oh yeah, me too.
so
for sure.
that makes things really interesting.
Yeah. But like, I do think it's important to at least get the experience of hearing everything in the track order, and especially in cases where the artist has selected a track order for a specific reason.
Nice.
All right.
Member.
Vocal, like who impressed you, or yeah, to or member.
Who impressed me on this one?
Mhm.
I had to listen to the whole song. That if it's one thing about this song, I think more than everything else that caught me off guard was the. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The tempo of it.
Uh-huh.
It's just so it does not stop.
Yeah, like
There's no breaks.
there's
really.
that little soft section at the beginning, but once it kicks in, it is like relentless. It just,
Yeah,
it
so I feel
goes.
like I've been on a roller coaster ride, and I just got through like a really bright roller coaster ride with a lot of strobe lights and stuff, and now here I'm on the other side of this. I for the kind of song that it is, especially with it says that lyrics are supposed to depict an attraction between two people at a private party. It is so Baekhyun. His mischievous energy and like his cocky energy and stuff, but I still don't know that I want to say that it's Baekhyun's song, because I feel that No Makeup is also a good song for him.
Yeah. I, like Gigi said, I kind of don't have a member that really stood out to me on this track, because they all like sound great. But I think Shumin would be my pick
Minseok, yeah.
for this track. It
I was
reminds me
thinking
a
maybe.
lot of Feedback from his solo album, and so I think like the kind of vibe that it goes for, that throwback, dancey, club vibe, fits Shumin a lot.
Glory.
I also think in the album, this is one of those songs that's like just a really great visualization. I feel like you could just see the whole scene and setup just happening. You could see all them there. I don't know if that's really something to know because it's not really about the music. I guess it's just kind of like the tempo and the vibe. But I also kind of agree about it being like a Beck song. It definitely has his vibe and his energy to it. And I think this is another track on the album where like everyone's voice really was like, it was really hard for me to just choose one person who stuck out to me. I think they're all kind of like, I feel like this is a really cohesive ensemble number, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to have a very different opinion from all of us.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm always ready for that.
So, Private Party to me, I would have loved to hear like this song in particular.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
This song in
He
particular.
would slay this
If
song.
Slay was on this song, he would.
Okay, so there's 9, but there's
so-
9 tracks on this, so it's
Oh,
okay.
that's true. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I will say standout member. Like Lay, like I would probably give this to Lay if Lay could be here
Yes.
for this song, because I do think like his vocal range would work really well. He could have like really nice like a sort of rap kind of duet with Shumin.
Yeah.
And kind of also give that like lower register type tone. But if I had to choose a standout member singing this song, it's Suho. Suho's voice pierced throughout the entire song, and it was glorious. It much more than in like Cream Soda or Hear Me Out or some of the other songs. If I didn't have to choose, like if I didn't choose Lay, this would be a Suho track 100% for me.
I get that. Yeah.
If Lay is on the table, then I vote Lay. He does not even need to be on the track for me to vote for Lay then. No, it's Lay.
He's gonna be one of these because there's 9 tracks.
So
I had not thought about I'm
and
so,
I mean, like, you
so
could,
dumb. I didn't think about that.
right? I mean, you could do like if Lay was not on the table, it could either for me be Suho or just EXO, right? Because like I think
Oh, yeah.
a very common theme with all of us is that no one member. Well, I really think Suho stood out, but really no one member super stood out on this song, and that's so cohesive of a song that you could just put EXO.
I'm wondering if that's the
Right,
line
it's
distribution
like-
too. Did they have like an like a very even line distribution on this?
I think so, because I remember hearing everyone's voice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I vote Lay.
I do think though that if Lay were on the song, he would be the one that like stood out and was like, holy shit, he sounds so good on this. So you know what? Maybe I will change from Shumin.
Thank you for bringing up
Lay.
Yixing, because
Yeah.
honestly, I did not feel that Minseok was for this one, even though this is very Minseok energy, because I feel that he fits in one of the other songs that come in later.
Yeah.
But Lay for me.
Yeah. I'll change to Lay too.
I have like a Lay / Suho on this one,
Yeah.
but I will.
All right, let's go
All right. What?
to Cinderella.
Yes. I'm excited to re-listen to this song.
Cinderella just tripped me out, dude.
Yeah, same, honestly.
So I've only heard this album once at this point, so I'm rediscovering some of these
wow.
tracks. Yeah.
My streaming list is literally this and Speak Now Taylor's version, so.
All right. Well, let's go.
Here we go.
멈춰버린 너와 나의 시계줄 시선 넘어 화려해진 city view 거지처럼 너를 재촉하는 문 찰나 끊겨버린 춤 시계는 벌써 12시네 믿을 수가 없게 몰아치는 시간 앞에 그 누구도 막지 못해 깨어나는 어둠 아래 운나나나 널 이대로
Yeah.
보내기는 싫어 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 la
Ay. 다 뒤집어 fairy tale. 벌써 심장이 아릿해. Ay. It's just you and nobody else. 온통 널 가둬버린 법칙들은 yeah.
사라질 너 이곳에 남을 유리고 두물 나지게 나 이대로 제발 떠나지 마 둘만의 꿈을 깨버리지 마 익숙한 이 장면 속에 결국 널 잃은 채 밤새 후회하지 않게
이 엔딩 난 바꿔야 해.
깨어나는 어둠 아래 우나나나 널 이대로 yeah. 보내기는 싫어 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella 내 곁에 머물 순 없는지 내일 해가 떠올 때까지 baby 그대로 있어줘 영원히 Cinderella Whoa, Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella La 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 Cinderella
Woo!
Yes.
It is a crime and a half that that song is only 2 minutes and 34 seconds. It is a crime to my soul
Yeah.
that that song is only 2 minutes and 34 seconds long.
That is like
So-
one of EXO's shortest songs, I think, if not their shortest.
Mhm.
It's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I have a lot. So when I first heard this for the first time, and when I continue to hear it, it almost reminds me something of something 127 would do, like NCT 127.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Like I could see Heshan hitting the same high notes and stuff,
Yeah.
and that was like the first thing I thought. I was like, this is an EXO song. This isn't an NCT 127. I feel like obviously it works for both of their vibes, but obviously for me the standout was all these insane high notes. I really hope we're going to see a performance of this because I'd be really curious what the choreography is going to be with these notes that they're going to have to sing.
Ooh.
I'm
Very
wondering
true.
about the choreography for a lot of these tracks. That'd be interesting to see.
The again, you have the technical music technical words. The that they do towards the end of the song.
The harmonies?
Yes.
Where they're all like singing different notes.
but it's staggered. Yes.
Yeah.
That destroyed me.
Yes. That part is gorgeous. I love it.
Honestly, when they did that, it reminded me of NSYNC.
Yeah.
I was expecting to have like either Justin or JC hop in right after, like start going off, and then that was actually the song that really tripped up my nostalgia and deja vu. That I was like, I feel like I've heard a song like this before in the past, and I'm like, wait, I don't hear NSYNC singing, and they're like EXO singing this, so that one really tripped me up. The song title, and I know we talked about this, the song title, when Jongdae said my favorite song is Cinderella, I was like, of course, Jongdae, you
Yeah.
like the very soft and like fluffy and stuff. But then like the song came on, and then I was like, of course it's his favorite because of his duality that he has. It's of course very nice song.
Yeah.
Lori.
Oh my god, I have so many opinions. So we'll kind of start where you left off in terms of like the Countdown Live unboxing event. And we talked about this in the past of, oh god, they named it Cinderella. We have song called Peter Pan, and they mentioned it in the Countdown Live that like they have a bunch of songs that kind of match sort of Disney
Right.
type stuff. So you have like Peter Pan, Baby Don't Cry apparently is kind of Little Mermaid. They mentioned that it was, you know, roughly mermaid like.
Yeah.
They have El Dorado.
Black
Right?
Pearl.
They have
Fucking
Black
love it.
Pearl as well. And so knowing that, I was like, okay, I might like this song. I might. Or I might not. But I'm going to give it a shot. And then you get to that bridge where they like, you know, have that moment of like they climb. And it reminds me of the time where Chen Yol is like just randomly trying to think on stage and he goes ah, and then they
all
yes.
start
sort of do
harmonizing
like an
with him.
acapella and they all start harmonizing.
Yes.
It's the 2023 version of that.
Yeah.
And it was
But in a
absolutely
song.
glorious.
Yeah.
In a song, no less. Which then made me upset that like it's only 2 minutes and 34 seconds because they could have just like held that a little bit longer or had like a climb from more members to like sit in that pocket before they went into the final chorus.
That would have been a really fun way for them to end the song too. Just like to have it in the bridge,
add another
then go
verse
back
and
into a
then
chorus, and then do that harmonization again.
Yeah.
Either again or have that be the last thing of the song would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be playing off of the Cinderella story, right? So what if like right as they hit the final thing, the clock strikes 12 because of the excitement that's building up over it, you know?
Right.
Who are the members that, can you replay that for me? Or is it just vocal line that does that?
Yeah, let me try and find it.
Cinderella 내 곁에 머물 순 없는지
Leader, please.
내일 해가 떠올 때까지 baby 그대로 있어줘 영원히 Cinderella Whoa, Cinderella
Is that CBX?
It is CBX plus Kai,
Yeah.
I think. I think
That's what I was
Kai
gonna
is
say.
the first note.
Yeah.
I think it's Kai, and then it goes...
Kai forms the bass, and then it's CBX on top of him.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think Schumann is that final one before Beck comes in.
Yeah.
I think that's the climb. But I could be wrong.
That's how I hear it too.
Yeah, that's how I hear it. Even with that beautiful bridge, Dio is the
Yes.
absolute standout on this song. It is such a Dio song. It is the R&B Dio, right? Not his like solo work, but the R&B Dio that we know in EXO. This is his song.
The one we wish we
Leading
can
it
get
up.
back.
Yeah. He was gonna be my choice
fine.
for this too, actually.
Yes.
It fits him so well.
So do we all agree it's Kyungsoo for this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And also, I actually have to go. I'm working Prime Day tomorrow, so basically, I'm working nonstop all day. So,
Good luck.
like a crazy person. Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
for joining though.
Thank you for letting me join. It's always great to talk to you guys, and I'm looking forward to talking through our thoughts more after we kind of fully process the album.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
yeah. Good night, guys.
Night.
Good night.
All right. So that was Cinderella. Do we want to go into No Makeup?
Do you remember which member
fine.
said their no makeup was their favorite?
Baekhyun.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah,
I can.
It was.
It says arrangement
yeah.
was by London Noise. That makes all the sense in the world that
Yeah,
it's
actually-
Baekhyun's favorite. He's very London Noise energy.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
살짝 번진 너의 립스틱 더 바를 필요 없는 걸 All I 기억해줘 내가 직접 모두 지워버리고 싶어 금세 터질 듯한 심장 그 어떤 색보다 자극적인 너의 green light 길고도 아슬할 tonight 이성의 끈을 잘라놔 적당히 엉클어진 듯한 네 머릿결 하나까지 다 아름다워 There's just something I love about you I love you with no makeup on 꾸밈 없는 모습까지 beautiful 굳이 신경 안 써도 네 예쁜 눈, 코, 입 위에 살짝 남긴 kiss like 조금씩 더 맘을 열긴 솔직한 널 보여줘 So take the makeup off 눈부신 조명은 전부 꺼놔 내게 넌 하루도 충분할 테니 지금 네 분위기는 나를 미치게만 해 밤이 깊어져가니 그냥 단순하게 사랑하자 이 숨결이 징벌되기 전에 시선 끝이 부딪힌 순간에 시간마저 다 멈춘 것 같은 걸 And that's something I love about you I love you when I make up on 꾸밈 없는 모습까지 beautiful 굳이 신경 안 써도 네 예쁜 눈, 코, 입 위에 살짝 남긴 kiss like 조금씩 더 맘을 열기 솔직한 날 보여줘 So take the makeup off 천천히 baby please 원한다면 다 take it all love 더 확실해진 서로의 마음 솔직해질수록 설레는 그 이유 그 밤은 너야 I love you with no makeup on 꾸밈 없는 모습까지 beautiful 굳이 신경 안 써도 네 예쁜 눈, 코, 입 위에 살짝 남긴 kiss like 조금씩 더 맘을 열기 솔직한 널 보여줘 no. So take the makeup off
이 순간 숨김없는 모습으로 진짜의 널 보여줘
Baby you don't need no makeup
우린 더 편안하고 자연스러운 모습으로 함께 웃어
Baby you don't need no makeup
우리 내 옆에서 가장 너다울 수 있게 No
So take your makeup off
Another vibe.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Very classic, chill R&B track. Everybody sounds fantastic on it.
준면이
This is probably. Or sorry, go ahead, Gigi.
준면이 holding that no makeup
Uh-huh.
and he pronounces it as op was a really nice way of harmonizing, and just that ad lib was beautiful in my opinion towards the end.
I think that this is probably the most like EXO R&B.
Yeah.
Like this could fit on other albums
Any
in the past
of their
and
other albums,
still,
I think. Yeah.
yeah, and still be a good EXO song.
Yeah.
So it feels the most classic EXO out of all of the songs on the album.
Yeah.
Suho though
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
is
Suho.
just all over this track in a very, very nice way.
Yeah.
It would have fit on Gray Suit because of decanting.
I can
It's
see
a
that.
very nice compliment to decanting.
Yeah.
I'd like to almost argue that this, even though this is so Baekhyun, is Suho's song for me.
I mean, it is Suho's song for me, but that's because I have a song specifically with Beck in mind. That's later. I don't know that I would think that this fits on Gray Suit, because Gray Suit, Decanting is a very different song than the rest of the songs on Gray Suit. I appreciate it because I love Decanting. Decanting is probably my favorite song on that album. But it is so different, and the rest of the songs are very much more your British pop type songs that I don't know that this R&B style would match the rest of the album.
I think if it had a live band instrumentation like the rest of Gray Suit, it could work.
What
And
if instead
that.
of that, that's his third album?
Suho doing an
If
R&B
he
album? I am
did,
down.
if he did a third
that.
album and wanted to expand off the energy, the sultriness of Decanting, and just keep leaning heavy into it, that third
Yeah, I'm
album
fine with that.
I'm
would
down.
be whew,
And Suho, I will come to your place and drink wine with you whenever you want.
whatever he wants, whenever he
I
wants.
would be whatever you want.
I'm glad
But no,
Becca's
I
not
really
on
like
anymore.
I
'Cause
really like Suho on this. I like all the other members too, but there's just something about Suho's performance on this.
yes.
What I want to phrase it as is that the other members performed as expected of them,
Right. 'Cause
but
you
Jun
have-
Myuni did not.
Right.
He outdid himself.
You have Baekhyun doing his crazy runs and everything. You have Dio, which this vibe suits Dio's voice so well. But yeah, Suho just, it's not a style that he typically works with outside of EXO particularly, but even within EXO he's normally relegated to like background vocals on tracks like this. So to hear him having those lines and going off as he did was really nice.
I could see them perform this in their election outfits.
Yeah.
That's all I kept thinking was when they go up there with the microphone stands that are the EXO logo and their suits and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's definitely the kind of performance that I expect they're gonna end up doing in the future.
Yeah.
So
Leader.
my choice
Suho.
my choice is still Baekhyun.
Suho for sure.
But
It's still Baekhyun?
yes, just because of the vibe. I'm going off vibes alone, not performances.
Mhm.
But yes, mine is Baekhyun, although Suho is the standout performer on the track for me.
I think since this album is, the energy of it is seduction, though, I could make an argument that this is the side of Junmyeon that we haven't seen since Playboy, when he would perform Playboy on his own.
Yeah.
So for my pick, for sure, I think that also supports the idea that this is Junmyeon. Like, obviously, like, it would be too easy to say that this would be a Baekhyun song, just because I can already imagine how many times a day he sings this at the top of his lungs, but, like, it is Junmyeon for me. Okay, so Gloria only has 30 minutes left.
Okay. Well, we've got 3 tracks, so 10 minutes per track. Let's go.
Okay.
Love
Let's
Fool.
go.
Love Fool.
넌 가끔 다정하게 굴지만 착각인 듯 다가가면 알수 가늠할 수 없는 온도가 좋아 oh, no, 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 no. 둘 사이 틈 매일이 다르고 어쩔 땐 꼭 못된 장난 같아도 내겐 늘 기꺼이 치고 싶어 난 oh, my, 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 my. 짧은 한마디 몇 글자로도 충분할 테니 난 듣고 싶어 Get away, you can get away 내게로 와 말해줄게 내 답 I feel like a fool 헤매어난 매일 What you want 너로만 fool 가득 차는 맘이 What's going on Give me that truth Give me that Give me that Give me that truth You make me a fool 난 그게 좋을 만큼 Let's go 내게
깊이 빠져들어 깊이 Let's go 좀 더 깊이 빠져들어 깊이 yeah. 에이 다들 그래 빠졌대 푹 뭐라든 괜찮아 상관 안 해 Call me the fool 좋아하게 쑤시고
사람들 눈에 어떻게 보이면 어때 온통 놀아서 숨기는 건 못해
줘도 모자라 그냥 전부 주고 싶어다 아끼고 싶은 건 너 하나뿐이야 Oh my 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 굴뿐인 바다 그 안에 잠겨 하루 종일 너만 보고 싶어 Get away you can get away 내게로 와 이젠 줄래 내다 I feel like a fool 헤매어 난 매일 What you want 너로만 fool 가득 찬 내 맘이 What's going on Give me that truth give me that Give me that Give me that truth You make me a fool 난 그게 좋은 만큼 어떤 말도 좋아 하는 맘 빼고 no 내 대답은 이미 정해져 있어 기다려도 좋아 얼마든지 take it slow 내 다음은 네 손에만 넘어가 I feel like a fool 궁금해 네 매일 What you do 자꾸만 hear it so often What's going on Give me that Give me that Give me that truth You make me a fool 다 상관없을 만큼 Let's go 내게 깊이 빠져들어 깊이 Let's go 좀 더 깊이 빠져들어 깊이 Let's go 우린 깊이
That song almost feels too short, even though it's really long.
It is one of the longer tracks on the album,
is.
but
It is the third longest song on their album.
yeah. I want to know who's doing those low vocal fries in the background. Is that Kai?
I would have said it was Kai when I heard it earlier
I
today.
would. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds great. I love it.
This is very Schumann, though. For me.
Yeah.
This is Minseok. The fact that Minseok is on this, I was screaming so hard in the car.
Do you imagine how pissed off he would have been if he had to miss this comeback?
This whole album is very his energy and
The man's salt is eternal for not being on Obsession, but I think the salt is eternal because of the concept.
Yes.
He wants ex Schumann more than just in
Yeah.
Sweet Time for one song. Or three songs, I guess. But
it was definitely one song because he only did Obsession from the Obsession album. But
did he do other songs in that
But he-
costume though?
No.
Or am I tripping?
no,
Oh, okay. Well, then
You're
one
you're
song.
thinking of Jongin when Jongin did Jekyll during
Jekyll.
during
his
EXplOre.
performance. Yeah.
Yeah, because he did Jekyll and he did Deep Breath.
Oh, yeah.
Not the same. No, wait, no, it's not Deep Breath because I see you.
Anyway.
It's one of the two. One of the two.
I love that Love Fool is 24/7's big sister. No wait, 24's big sister.
Yeah, I was going to say 24/7.
That's the one that I meant to say.
Yeah.
And I love that rap line kind of shines on it. All four of them on this one, especially since Minseok takes a lot of direction on it too. So I really, really find that fascinating. This is a really good song.
Yeah, I actually had forgotten how much I liked this song until I just heard it again. Might be one of my favorites on the album. But I haven't gone through and done my ranking yet, so I don't know.
I mean, I probably won't for a very long time.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Just like with Private Party being in the exact right location, I think Love Fool works very well between No Makeup and What We'll Listen to Another Day.
Yeah.
Because it has that, you know, really sort of R&B vibe and a little bit more upbeat, but kind of the tone, right? You have like that upbeat music, but then their vocal tone isn't as upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a
As
darker
the-
edge to the vocals.
Yeah. It's just absolutely.
Especially in those
gorgeous.
like breakdown parts where the sirens are going off. It's almost
Mhm.
like aggressive.
Definitely another song that I agree with you guys that rap line takes this over vocal line.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, this is very Schumann coded,
Yeah.
and I mean that's the person that I think takes this song.
Yeah.
for me.
Yep.
For sure.
No notes, because it's Minseok.
Yes.
Through and through.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to another day.
다시 시작해 네 머릿속에 생각들은 비운 채 다 지나버린 순간들은 뒤로 해 괜한 앞선 걱정들도 놔줄래 모두 흘러가게 어제에 갇혀 있던 나 한 걸음 나선 순간 Realize 눈 뜨면 다시 Another day 처음인데 다시 뜨는 해 또 다른 하루 어제와 달라 새로워 전부 마음껏 채워가 뭘 해도 좋은 Another day 아쉬움다 쉴 새 없이 달려온 증거인걸 그 모든 너의 순간들이 beautiful 누가 뭐라 해도 변치 않는 사실은 You're incredible 내일을 알 수 없지만 난 왠지 더 기대돼 Realize 얘 눈 뜨면 다시 Another day 처음인데 다시 뜨는 해 또 다른 하루 어제와 달라 새로워 전부 마음껏 채워가 뭘 해도 좋은 Another day
Another day 이건 새로운 챕 색깔은 매일 늘 다채로운 색 어제와 내일 오늘 모두 뒤돌아보니 하늘엔 레인보우 발걸음에 설렘이 묻어있지 크레센도 여러 윈도우 모든 걱정들은 바람 감겨 그늘진 맘 한켠 햇살들이 닿네 Sunshine on me 오늘 하루 또 다른 날만 들어갈 거야 펼칠 거야 맘껏 문제없어 I'm good
Another day 바로 지금 눈빛엔 너무 아까운 뜨거운 낮과 눈부신 밤들 이 순간 그려가 새로운 나를 Another day You Yeah Another Another day No 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 Another day
Kyungsu went off.
Yeah. Chanyeol and Sehun went off too. The way, like the rhythm of their raps are just wild.
They work
For
beautifully
me, it's
together.
kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of young. Like the
At the
fact that
beginning.
like you get them at the beginning, and then it's actually in the middle where you also get like in the beginning it's Baekhyun to Kai, and then I don't remember if it's second verse or almost bridge like, but it's Kai to Baekhyun. Just that pairing in those certain locations was
Yeah.
blew me away. Because they have very different vocal tones. Even though they are the two that have the most R&B type sound solo-wise,
Yeah.
the fact that their vocal tones and their vocal color is different actually works really well, especially when you put them side by side or back to back, the way that this song potentially puts them in.
Yeah, like for me, Kai's voice is like a greenish energy, whereas Beck's is more of like a yellow. So they're very different, but they're similar enough that when you pair them up, it works. It doesn't clash. Which is true of all the EXOs. Like any two of the EXOs can harmonize with each other, and it's gonna sound great. But yeah, having Kai Beck like that is really beautiful.
Yeah.
The song almost sounds a little Super Emmy to me. Like if you would have told me Super M did the song, I was like,
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Energetically,
Yeah,
it would
I
make
can see that.
sense, but they wouldn't be able to pull it off. But energetically, it definitely makes sense. For a song like this that's pretty upbeat and stuff, you'd think that you would hear a lot more Chen on it, but hearing the others go off more was really nice, so that they can flex how high they can go too. Do you
Just another perfect example of how all of the songs on this album have a period in time where you think one member should be doing something, and instead it's other members stepping into that role.
Yeah,
and
they play around
doing
with their
just
roles
as
a lot.
well.
And it
That-
just goes to show how versatile each member is.
And that's the magic
Yeah.
of EXO for sure.
Yeah.
It's each one of them can fill in for the other. And where he brings a different color, it doesn't dilute the performance or the delivery of it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would assign this song to, just because I was the only one who didn't agree on Regret It. What person do you guys think this goes with?
Well, my two choices are Kai and
Right.
Suho, but Kai for sure. Even if those weren't my only two options, this is Kai to me. A lot of
This is absolutely Kai to me.
and a lot of that is because of the production too.
Mm-hmm.
The like the synths and everything, and the verses sound like something that he would have on his solo albums.
The opening of it, I was fully expecting Domino to start.
Yeah. The
My
little,
brain went,
4
wait,
count
what?
kick
Where's
drum that
Domino?
starts it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's for sure. So then, Glory, is Let Me In your song for Baekhyun?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll listen to Let Me In, but I'll explain why. But
Yeah.
Another Day's, like, Kai just on this song, it feels like he is playing with his voice so much in this song
Mhm.
that you get his vocal timbre a lot more in this song than in other songs that we've heard him sing himself.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
So, Gigi, who is yours? Did you say it already and I forgot?
No, I did not. I
Okay.
said that I can't decide because I still feel like Regret It is a really good Jonghyun song, and that he shines vocally on it. So I don't have one.
Well, who's left for you?
For me, I have the choice between Baekhyun and Chen. Subject matter wise, this song would make sense for either one of the two because it's very the point of the lyrics at least are to look forward to another day.
Yeah.
And both of those guys are constantly telling us stuff like that. If I were to do that and hold on to that, I feel like this is the problem with them being so similar is that I could give Let Me In to Chen and it makes sense. And I could give Let Me In to Baekhyun and it makes sense. So I don't have a pick for this one.
Well, do you want to hold off and see Gloria's reasoning for giving Let Me In to Baekhyun? And see if you want to
Yes.
retroactively give this one to Chen?
I don't want to give this one to Chen. I don't think this is Chen. But sure, let's go.
Okay, well, let's listen to Let Me In then.
어둠 속으로 사라지는 너 기다려도 숨지 말고 허적대잖아 잠겨도 되다만 물결치듯 내게 와줘 너 없이는 별 볼 일 없어져 낮도 밤도 달 같지가 않고 공허한 맘을 파도에 눕힌 채 원하고 있어 이토록 나른한 네 품속 더 다니고 싶어 그럴 수만 있다면 날 안아 let me in Cause it's blue 너의 두 눈 Gotta let me in your deep ocean 매일같이 기다려 Hey, 네 맘을 벌써만 있다면 좀 더 깊이 높이든 파도 몰아세워 더 질치듯이 감싼지 휩쓸리는 건 계속 내 쪽에서 매번 외면하고 외쳐대도 대책 없이 덮치는 너 이미 여긴 저 태양빛도 닿지 않아 가늠이 안 될 만큼 깊고 외롭지만 널 아는 바다 날 이끄니까 부디 날 삼켜 원하면 어디든 넘어갈게 차라리 이젠 몸을 던져 휩쓸리게 이 감정들에 대한 걱정 따윈 흘려보내 솔직한 말 all from deep inside 아직도 넌 뭘 생각해 담기에 넘치는데 네 품속 또 다니고 싶어 그럴 수만 있다면 날 안아 let me in Cause it's blue 너의 두 눈 Gotta let me in your deep ocean 매일같이 기다려 모든 것이 멈추고 눈과 귀를 가려서 숨 쉴 수가 없대도 내게로 모든 것이 멈춰도 내게 입을 맞춰줘 영원할 수 없대도 이대로 나른한 네 품속 머물고만 싶어 가장 깊은 어디든 날 안아 let me in Cause it's blue 너의 두 눈 Gotta let me in your ocean 매일같이 기다려 마저 거슬러 가 우리의 세상 끝으로 I want you 내게로 푸른 바닷속 너에게 빠져 Yeah Cause you're my ocean
The lore.
It'll be so good once we get to this one in lore.
For sure.
So you guys had asked me like why I think this is Baekhyun.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him in his solo career kind of work towards this sort of higher range that he has in his repertoire.
Yeah.
This song perfectly shows off that newer vocal tone, the tone that he's been working on, the tone that he started kind of displaying even more so in Bambi before he left, and then sort of showed a little bit in Don't Fight the Feeling, even though at some points in Don't Fight the Feeling it might have felt a bit forced. This one does not feel forced at all.
I do agree with that. I think it's executed better here than definitely on Don't Fight the Feeling, but even on Bambi. I think he kind of overdoes it a bit on Bambi, to the point where it feels like he's just kind of showing off like, hey, this is what I can do now. But yeah, melodically and thematically, it does work for him to be up in that register on this track.
Yeah.
I don't think he had
Yeah.
practiced and developed his ability when they rushed Bambi out.
Yeah.
Which means that if he were to perform the album now, he might actually, salvage what a lot of people were complaining they didn't like about the album in general. For this song, it's a nice way of ending this album for sure. A nice reset. Like I had said when I had played it earlier today, it went back to Cream Soda and I was ready to go, because the song had mellowed enough to give me a rest from all of the amazingness that the rest of the album was. I would have wanted to see it as a winter song, and the way that the EXOs described it, both in the behind the scenes for a lot of this music video, it almost seemed like they were planning a winter track, and then they decided ultimately to make it onto the album. The message they said that this is what they wish to tell EXO-L, I think is curious for me personally, because we already did let them in, so I think it's a really sweet way of them returning in hindsight now, especially since the last time we had a full-length album was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And no disrespect to the other members on this track, because Gigi and Nick have both heard me go crazy about the fact that like Kai's vocals in this are absolutely human. Being able to sing like Shukai having a bridge was just
Yeah.
oh my god. Chanyeol ad-libbing at the end. Sehun having a beautiful rap. Chanyeol's rap kind of sitting in, between beats, which feels off if you don't know how technical that sort of rap style is.
Yeah.
Just this song is amazing. For a person that doesn't like rap, this song is amazing.
It is very technically impressive for all of the members. They're all showing off here's what we can do now. We're all more mature. We've been through a lot, but we're still going strong, and here is us at 30. And so I do think it was a good introduction to this new era, to just kind of be like, this is where we're headed.
And come with us.
Yeah.
And I do think that if this song would have been on a winter album, I don't think I would have liked it as much.
That's fair.
But not to anything about winter album. It's just this does so well, as the first pre-release, as the ending to exist, that if it was on a winter album, I feel like you would almost lose that punch of what you were talking about, Nick. Of, hey, here's where we are now.
Yeah.
We are more mature. We can indeed do this.
Yeah.
and it fits very well with the theme that we're seeing in this album of, hey, our repertoire has gotten bigger. Surprise.
Yeah. Even the album title of Exist, it's like, hey, we're still here. Like, we exist. We are with you. We are back.
I have a lot of thoughts about that. I have a lot of thoughts about
We
that.
exist in every moment of you.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about that, but we're running out of time. Maybe we can talk about this later, but the only song that I can think of that matches that idea that they said of Exist is Let Me In.
Yeah.
Because the other ones are about getting dirty. So I don't know what they were on about that, and I think it was extremely misleading. But
I mean, if they want to exist in those moments, then
yeah, but they're not existing in that moment with me,
Well,
okay?
that's what
I
I'm
was not
saying.
the one invited to those moments with them. The only one I was invited to was Let Me In, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah. But yes. So that is it. This
Yeah.
was fun.
This has been our reaction plus guests to EXO's 7th album.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe we'll do this for the other albums, or if more solo work comes out, maybe we'll take a quick little jaunt
Yeah.
to listen to all of this.
Yeah,
But
I think that's
tune in
fun.
but tune in to the next one, where we get back to what this podcast actually is supposed to be, which is exploring the lore of EXO, where we talk about
EXO's lore.
path codes.
And we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about path code.
Passcode teachers
Yes.
are next. And if you have ideas about the Passcode teasers, if you have lore theories and such, you can tweet us at EXplOrePod1485, or you can email us at EXplOrePodcast1485@gmail.com and send us in your ideas. We'll read them off on the air. We will discuss them, see how they fit into our own theories and whatnot. So yeah, that's where you can find us.
Right. Thank you for tuning in, and we will check you guys out next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.